Scientists discover a new species lurking in the depths of the Southern Ocean. Weird looking thing, isn't it?
An amazing video from Gig Harbor captures what experts say is a rare and remarkable find.
Visitors to Scotland have sworn that they have seen a monster coming up from the depths.
Hey, boy. Hey, hey. Whoa!
Weird, otherworldly, mythical, and sometimes downright terrifying. Our water bodies hide secrets that you would never be able to wrap your head around. So, let's count down the creepiest creatures that were caught crawling into a river. Hunting monster.
Here we go.
Maybe a 30-foot croc is a bit of a stretch, but what about a 13-foot long gator? Is that still scary enough? If you're thinking no, well then take a look for yourself. 2 duck hunters in Florida had to wait their turn as this massive reptile snatched up their quarry one after the other. They stared in shock as the monster gator snuck up behind the unaware ducks and chomped down on them. Netizens were left stunned by the sheer size of the beast.
Number 2 of the day.
Extraordinary catch!
No way! It's bigger than me!
While exploring the Trinity River in Dallas, Texas, these fishermen's trip became a memorable one when he got his hands on possibly the biggest fish in the river, putting in a massive chunk of meat as bait. They waited. After the telltale signs of a catch on the line, the guys started reeling in. Soon, he realized the fish was quite big, so he got into the water to retrieve the fish himself. And that work paid off, as they had snagged a massive alligator garfish. Its massive snout, similar to its distant relative, was a giveaway of its sheer size.
Look at that. Right there, folks at home. That's a big one.
River dragon. Thailand has its fair share of mythical creatures, and dragons seem to be one of them. Years back, a man was able to capture the extremely elusive creature, seemingly taking a dip in the water. They're said to possess supernatural powers, meaning it could be dangerous to get too close to them, and the cameraman kept a safe distance. As the clip was posted online, people thought it looked like a fish, but the guy was sure it was a dragon from the myths. Frantic waters. Not all trips to the sea are relaxing. Sometimes they could even end up shaking you badly. A man was kayaking when he saw something massive and quite sinister looking underwater, just inches from his kayak. Hoping to wait it out, the guy didn't attempt to make any move, but luck wasn't on his side, as the creature decided to go crazy, creating a frenzy of splashing water. Thankfully, the guy stayed afloat and didn't fall right into the mouth of whatever monster was down there. River giant. A man got the scare of his life while enjoying the view of a river at night. He was filming the calm waters when, out of nowhere, a pale giant creature appeared, throwing him off. He screamed and stumbled backwards. Ah! Let's slow the video down and take a good look at what it was. It appeared to have a huge head attached to a long neck, but before we could see the rest of its body, the camera jerked away. Now, I'm sorry to break it to you, but there's no mysterious sea monsters swimming in our rivers, as this one was revealed to just be an art installation named Classification Pending by Craig Walsh. Ah! Swift swimmer. A scary footage surfaced on the internet showing some creatures swimming in the water. A boater noticed the odd presence and started filming. At first, its head was visible, but it suddenly ducked into the water and started paddling so fast it had given an Olympic swimmer a run for his money. The man even tried to call out to him, but that was a wrong move, because it popped its head out and looked the guy straight in the eyes before vanishing into the water once again.
Hey, boy. Hey, hey. Whoa!
Lake Tahoe. There's a myth that went around the region of Sierra Nevada for centuries, that a massive prehistoric creature lurks in the depths of Lake Tahoe. It was only a legend until this video captured a mysterious giant swimming in the river who caused a stir among online communities. Only the top of the creature was visible as it swam silently in the water, making it hard to identify, and so many netizens claim that the cameraman misunderstood that it was actually just a whale. Sea serpent. If this creature was not captured on camera, no one would have believed it existed. The video showed a serpentine creature gliding in the ocean water. It revealed its giant snake-like head as it came up for its next stroke. Many sightings of the sea serpent have been recorded, but this one was by far the most accurate and clear. There are many species of sea snakes in the Indian Ocean, but none of them are this big, leading people to believe that it was indeed a monstrous serpent dwelling in the deep waters. River dwellers. Two friends were on an adventure along a riverbank when strange, dark shapes drew their attention to the water. What appeared to be two humanoid heads were bobbing through the water. Thinking it was some river ghost, the men got closer to get a better look and realized the two heads were actually humans that were swimming in the water. The guys claimed they looked like ancient tribespeople who either had a different language or couldn't speak at all. Jagged teeth giant. A guy found a strange creature lying submerged in the water by the edge of a river in northern Ukraine. A shocking discovery was waiting for him as he drew nearer to it. With its eyeless face and jagged teeth, it looked like the giant head of a sea serpent with the rest of its body underwater. When he poked it with a stick, the monster sprang into the water, as if roused from a deep sleep. Due to the low quality of the video, netizens were skeptical, calling it a hoax. But the way it moved, it definitely looked real. Snake.
Oh, whack. Oh, whack you right in the head.
This clip will surely leave you scared of even freshwater. Have a look at what this kid encountered while fishing in a river. A long, slithery snake emerged at a distance, but instead of getting scared, the little guy kept his cool and even threatened the snake to keep away. And amazingly, the serpent listened and zipped past the guys, disappearing back into the deep water. I'd like to appreciate this guy's courage. I mean, anyone else, including myself, probably would have just dashed away, scaring even the snake itself.
I will hit you right in the head.
Jaguar encounter.
Oh, ladrão de peixe!
Would you ever let someone steal your hard-earned catch right in front of you? No, right? But what if that someone is a carnivorous big cat? These fishermen were done for the day when this jaguar came along, stepping silently on their boat. The panicking guy yelled at it,
Oh, ladrão de peixe!
but the mammal, determined to do what it came for, grabbed a fish in its mouth and took off. I'd say they were lucky it was just a fish and not something too personal.
É doido, rapaz.
Não, vou lá catar piranha.
Ontario Sasquatch. While you're cruising down a river, you might come across a sea monster. But sometimes, you even witness legendary creatures like this guy. On a lake in Ontario, a man captured a giant, hairy humanoid strolling in the woods, a classic Sasquatch sighting. While they are known to be quite elusive, this one, however, appeared pretty casual with no fear of being spotted. This is your cue to keep your camera equipment handy next time you decide to boat. You never know what you'll come across. Loch Ness. This clip captured a mysterious entity swimming in a freshwater lake, leaving internet folks guessing its identity. It appeared to be translucent white in color, almost glowing in the murky lake, with a long tail and a wide body. The camera could only catch a glimpse of the creature before it swam away. Netizens have come up with multiple explanations, ranging from Loch Ness Monster to the extinct Basilosaurus, leaving people scared over what they might encounter on their next trip. Emerging creature. In the murky waters of an abandoned canal, a man noticed a sinister presence, and as he started recording, something emerged out of the rippling water. 2 spots of greenish fur appeared and moved slowly downstream. While the video received a lot of criticism, netizens were split in their opinions. Some thought it could be a prehistoric creature waking from a long slumber. Others believed it was the legendary swamp monster finally caught on camera. Memphis Mermaid. If you think mermaids are just a figment of human imagination, then you're in for a surprise. A mermaid was seen swimming in the waters of a beach in Memphis. At first, the guy filming the spectacle thought it was a human, but when he zoomed in, reality appeared to be quite different. The humanoid figure dove in, showing off its giant fishtail, seemingly attached to it, flapping in the water. I'm pretty much convinced. But what do you think? Is this an actual, real-life mermaid or an elaborate hoax? Stuck in the flow. I don't know what's more terrifying, the giant horns or a river flow so strong it looked like an animal with huge horns had succumbed to its brutal flow. This video captured a truly bizarre incident. The corpse of an animal hung on as its horns were stuck to a flimsy branch while the water raged downstream. Just imagine how hard it would have been for it to hang in there. It'd make you shiver with fear. Port Blair Monster. A few months ago, reports of a sea monster seen off the coast of Port Blair started to fly in, and among the commotion was this video. It showed an odd creature lurking on the surface of the water, having spiky reptilian skin and a gray coloration. Thinking it was a sea beast, the locals immediately called the authorities, which cleared the air, saying it was a crocodile, just a little bigger than its regular size. I guess that's as close as we're gonna get to a sea monster. 30-foot croc. If this video made you think staying at home would be better than being out at sea, then you're not alone. Because coming face to face with this monster is the last thing on my mind too. This video shows a 30-foot-long crocodile swimming in a lake in Maine. The reptile was so huge that it made the diver look tiny as he swam near it. It's like a crocodile on steroids. Many people say the clip wasn't real, but its movements seem pretty natural to me. What's your take on this? Sea monster. A creature, unlike any marine animal you've ever seen, was captured swimming in a river. Although the camera is a little shaky, we can see the form of the being. It had a long, serpent-like body and appeared to swim rapidly. After the video landed online, many commentators began throwing around some really wild theories. Some of them thought it was the 29-foot-long crocodile said to inhabit the waters of the Philippines. Others were certain that it was good old Nessie out to catch some sunlight. Competition. Who doesn't love turtles? And it's only natural you'd want to feed them after spotting them in a pond. Well, it looks like you'd be changing your mind as soon as you watch this clip. A girl is innocently feeding these reptiles when a massive water monitor lizard lunged towards them. Guess it was feeling a little left out. The girl managed to back off right as the reptile came at her. Even a second later, and she would have found herself in its tight grip. Rare octopus.
An amazing video from Gig Harbor captures what experts say is a rare and remarkable find.
Check it out. It's an octopus swimming through a creek.
An amazing video filmed at the Gig Harbor has surfaced online, shocking marine experts. A full-grown male octopus was seen gliding down a creek with a curious orange coloration. These elusive sea creatures are rarely found in narrow waterways, and when this one appeared out in the open, locals were thrilled, huddling over the creek to get a glimpse of the mollusk.
It's pretty rare to see full-grown octopus. They are reclusive, they are secretive, and so to come across one at any stage of its life is pretty remarkable.
Swimming with the monsters. Dipping into a river in the middle of the Amazon is never a good idea. And here's a sneak peek at what could happen if you decide to get into the water anyway. Jumping into the river, the guy instantly regretted his decision. As soon as he made contact with the water, it began splashing wildly as predator fish swarmed all around him. But before they could take a nip out of him, he rushed out to the shore. So, the next time you find yourself in the Amazon, don't be fooled by the seemingly calm surface of the water. Leaked footage. When this footage hit the internet, it got people thinking, maybe dinosaurs didn't go extinct all those years ago. Filmed in Congo, Africa, the video showed a close-up of some kind of a reptile. It appeared to be staring right into the camera, with its eyes glowing red in the dark. The problem with the clip was that it did not zoom out to reveal the whole creature. But if you ask me, I'd say it looked like an ordinary turtle that appeared to be a little scared. Creepy-faced fish. Have you ever stared into a river and recoiled in disbelief? Well, even if you haven't, you'll get the idea after watching this clip. It captured a strange fish that appeared to be staring into the camera with its giant forward-facing eyes. And that's not all. It also sported a creepy set of human-like teeth. But I guess first impressions aren't the last impressions. Because as the camera follows the fish on the other side, you'll notice its regular fish eyes, and the pattern on its face had created an illusion, but the teeth are still pretty weird. Turning anomaly. Our world is filled to the brim with creepy and mysterious creatures. Just take a look at this one. Weirdly tossing and turning around in the mud while rolled into a circle, a guy found this thing near a river. How it was able to move its body in a complete 360 baffled everyone. Locals thought these critters, who turn up every now and again, might mean something, like a prophecy of some catastrophe or the spawn of some river monster. The internet went wild with guesses, leaving us puzzled over this never-before-seen thing. Resting giant. While visiting murky rivers and quiet wetlands, you're bound to encounter a beast or two. Something exactly like this. This anaconda was found resting in the shade near the Amazonian riverbank. You'd be lucky to post it in its camouflaging surrounding, perfect to prey on unsuspecting animals. Just the sheer size of this beast makes me swear off visiting the Amazon rainforest ever. But that's not it. These guys don't just sit around. Sometimes they're out to bump into visitors' kayaks to scare the living daylights out of them. This one was even scarier than before, with its swollen belly and all. Just keep one thing in mind. If you ever see one, just mind your own business, and try not to get too close. Extraterrestrial entity. There are a lot of beings unknown to us lurking just beneath the surface, and sometimes even over it. This clip circulating online seemed to have recorded something similar. A bizarre-looking pale carcass was found spread out near a lake in Panama. A group of teenagers found the unknown animal and were left scared thinking of what it could be. Netizens came in with their wild imaginations, and some said it was an extraterrestrial, while others thought of an unknown wild animal. The carcass was later sent to the Environmental Agency to study and figure out its origin. Thrashing giant. A guy's visit to the river turned into a story of an unforgettable encounter. Noticing strange movement in the water, he took out his camera to record whoever it was underneath. But the moment was only the calm before the storm, as suddenly the water made a huge splash and caused a large impact in the water. Whatever was in there surely was a giant. After the splash, the water just calmed down, as the creature probably disappeared somewhere deeper. Creepy swimmer. A massive unknown creature was captured by a group of kayakers visiting the Missouri River. At first, thinking it was some giant fish, the guys continued their journey. However, when the creature suddenly emerged out of the water, it became clear that it wasn't a fish. Following it around, trying to get a clear look at it, that creature was faster and disappeared under the murky water. Everyone gave their 2 cents on the creature's identity, either a river monster or some giant beast dwelling underwater. That swift swimmer has remained a mystery. Swollen slitherer. A group of villagers found something surprising among the bushes. A massive anaconda sporting a gigantic bulge in its body laid lifeless on the ground. What has the snake eaten that caused its demise? The question was soon answered when its body opened up to reveal another anaconda, almost as big as itself. Looks like greed got to the anaconda here. And to make matters even more haunting, the swallowed snake also seemed to have a bulging belly, meaning the enormous anaconda's last meal also had a pretty nice last meal. Oof, talk about a tongue twister. Turkish lake monster.
The Loch Ness Monster, Turkish style.
Authorities and residents of a Turkish town were shocked when a strange creature appeared in Lake Van. The head of what looked like a lake monster was seen in the unusually calm waters. It swam quickly through the waves and was thought to be about 15 meters long. The footage led to many questions about what it could be. Skeptics thought the clip was a fake, but researchers and marine biologists from around the world wanted to search for the lake monster. However, the creature has remained a mystery to this day.
University for study. The internationally famous French.
Massive fish. A baffling discovery was made in Hirakud Dam, Odisha, when a guy spotted a giant fish swimming away in the water. Its unbelievably long body with big, flat tail was cited by many. Estimated to be more than 1,000 kilograms, the fish was believed to be one of a kind. People tried guessing what kind of fish it was. Netizens said it was a sturgeon, as they can historically get really huge, while locals suggested its huge size was a result of crossbreeding. Now, you guys let me know what you think of this fish. Go with the flow. Surrounded by docked ships, there was something strange swimming right in the middle. It seemed impossible to identify it, with only what could be its head and some body part out of the water, and it looked like it was trying to swim away without much success. I think it's some injured marine creature looking for help. However, internet folks had other ideas, thinking it was some underwater monster on the hunt for unsuspecting animals. With little information about the clip to go on, the critter became an unsolved mystery. Unexpected swimmer. While enjoying their peaceful boating ride to the safari, a group encountered a very unusual scene. They saw something swimming by in the distance, and they were stumped for a second as they couldn't figure out what kind of fish it was. Now, before I go ahead and tell you guys, do you think you can guess what is swimming away? Well, you'd be surprised to know that it was actually an elephant. Did you see its trunk flying out of the water? And these guys are actually surprisingly good at swimming. Just look at them go with the flow. Flying fish. Exploring the wildlife that thrives in the middle of the night while cruising on a boat. These guys were out and about in the river. The water seemed calm at first, but that was until a fish flew into their boat, scaring the guy. As they turned the camera around toward the water, they found out that it was a frenzy in there, with these little swimmers flying all over the place. The guys found out that these fish were actually Asian carp, an invasive species that jumps out of the water when they get distressed. Underwater flight. A group of professional anglers were out on a nighttime expedition when they came across something bizarre. Looking down from their boat into the water, they found that there were a whole bunch of strange creatures seemingly flying underwater. Many people thought they were rayfish, but their small size didn't really make sense. However, the mystery was later solved when an expert revealed that they were actually sea hare, and while swimming, they looked like a bird flying underwater. Prehistoric lurker. You know how prehistoric animals are said to have gone extinct? Well, now people are thinking they've been lied to about this, and this clip has been used as proof. What looks like some creature resembling a dinosaur was recorded resting underwater, and that too in broad daylight. The guy who recorded the video theorized that it was a real-life prehistoric animal that either survived the mass extinction or had been hiding in the depths. Skeptics think the clip is just a hoax. However, many seem to believe that dinosaur theory. Let me know your thoughts on this. Mermaid. A bizarre event took place at a fishing port in General Santos City, Philippines. While unloading their daily catch, a fisherman found an extraordinary thing. Instead of the usual fish, he snagged a merman. Yes, a male mermaid. A crowd quickly gathered to help him pull this mythical creature ashore. With its massive tail and blonde hair, it looked too real to call it a prank. They even weighed it and placed it on a table for closer inspection. What makes this even more interesting is that this might be the first time time anyone has ever caught a merman. Now, I'm not too sure if it was genuine or an elaborate hoax, but it's pretty suspicious how it suddenly appeared after being hidden for so long. Midnight encounter. Mythical creatures seem to have come out of myths, and it's happened countless times, till now. In this viral clip, a man was able to record a creature sporting some odd looks swimming in the water. With a small face, huge grayish belly, and tail, the mysterious giant was one for the horror books. Everyone who saw the clip had no clear idea of what it was. However, many suggested it looked like a washed-up version of a Loch Ness monster. Alien captured. Now, get ready to view some declassified footage of an alien craft crash site. This clip was allegedly recorded after a UFO had crashed near a river in Brazil. After being in possession of the government for so long, the clip was finally leaked, and people thought they would get some answers. But it raised even more questions than anything else. An alien figure was found standing in the rain, trying to block its face from the camera. Its brownish skin and short stature fit right into the gray category. So, do you think this alien was real, or something just created to trick the internet? Hovering ball. A guy out on a beach witnessed a very strange phenomenon. In the distance, he noticed a blue, glowing ball hovering over the surface of the water. As he zoomed out his camera, the ball disappeared. Leaving the strange ball aside, I'm curious as to how the guy even spotted it from so far away. Online viewers were quick to give their opinions, with some believing it was a UFO, while others thought of an other dimensional portal. Underwater Dementor. A man's kayaking trip turned into a horror encounter with this giant figure lurking beneath the waves. A pale, humanoid figure with hollow eyes and unnaturally long limbs. It looked like the creature would jump out at any moment. Unable to believe the sight in front of him, the guy quickly kayaked away to avoid any unwanted encounters. He asked the internet to help solve the mystery behind what he saw, and suggestions like a river monster, underwater god, or even a rake emerged, leaving all of us to wonder what truly lies just beneath the surface. Dark blob. This man is about to bring the most unbelievable thing out of the water ever. Keep your eyes on the screen. Putting his hands in, he came back out with this huge black blob. A closer look showed its odd, jiggly body. Its head seemed to be nestled in between two flaps that came out once it was out of the water. People have been calling it an alien creature, but before you get confused, let me go ahead and reveal it's actually a black sea hare, a large species of sea slug. Here's another clip. When these guys were filming their trip to the Pacific coast in the US, they came across this massive black blob. Pulling it out, one of the guys instantly identified it as a black sea hare. Given their size and appearance, they do look a bit intimidating, and you'd be left unnerved upon encountering one of these if you're not familiar with them. Alien carcass. Locals were stunned when the mysterious carcass seen here appeared in the Paraná River. The small lifeless body was floating in the water, pale and beginning to decompose. Pictures of the creature quickly went viral, leading to a flurry of speculations. Some people believed it was the carcass of an alien that had passed away during their visit to the Earth. However, with no evidence to support the claim, the creature's identity remained a question. Mummified crocs. Well, this entry is just as weird as the title might suggest. Mummified crocs. You might think of it as kind of an ancient craft, but these river monsters were preserved by nature. This out-of-the-ordinary discovery was made by archaeologists while they were clearing sand pits near the dried-up bank of the River Nile. The team was shocked to find huge remains of ancient reptiles, 5 of which were just heads, and 5 others completely intact, dried-up bodies. Another mind-blowing discovery was made a few years back in Australia, where the remains of an ancient crocodile have challenged ideas about the origin and evolution of the crocodile species. The fossilized remains of the crocodile, named Confractosuchus saurochtonos, is dubbed the broken dinosaur killer that once lived on our planet and is now 95 million years old. Ancient bison skull. Revealing the unknown once again, this river in eastern Montana brought centuries-old bison skulls. A guy was out there fishing when he spotted a giant skeleton floating towards him. After bringing it to the bank, he realized that nothing ordinary, but it was an ancient head. This time, two friends, going out to explore the Missouri River because the water was low, came back with an enormous fossil with a pair of horns still attached to it. So, trying to know more about it, they decided to send their discovery to an archaeologist who, after weeks of research, revealed that it was no doubt a fossil of an ancient bison, or could belong to an extinct species of bison that they accidentally found. Mammoth tusk and skull. Walking along the riverbank not only brings you the most fertile soil, sometimes it can allow you to peek into the past. Such a remarkable glimpse into prehistoric times was experienced by an explorer while he was scouting the muddy bank of a river in Siberia. An estimated 10-foot-long mammoth tusk was found on the silt edge and was believed to belong to an ancient giant elephant that might have roamed the land some 4 to 5 million years ago. The discovery wasn't just ended here, as upon moving further, a huge mammoth skull of the same animal was also waiting to be discovered. Both the tusk and skull, along with some other prehistoric remains, are now on display in a museum. Dinosaur tracks. Most rivers around the world are drying up, and in some places, the fading water is revealing very shocking truths from the past. One of those hidden realities was uncovered a few years back when a river in Texas was dried up from some place. An expected trail of monstrous-sized footprints was exposed to the world. The huge triangular-shaped footprints were believed to be left by Anthracanthsaurus, a large prehistoric, high-spined lizard that was estimated to be 14,000 pounds in weight. This place was considered to be the seashore in the past, where this 113-million-year-old dinosaur roamed, and now it was providing a once-in-a-lifetime sighting. Buddhist statue. Not just prehistoric footprints or bones, but the drought has brought us some of the most unbelievable structures from our history. The increasing heat wave in China and the plunging water level in the Yangtze River have helped a trio of Buddhist statues to emerge on the surface after 600 years. The three statues were found on the highest part of an island in the southwestern part of the country and are believed to have been built during the Ming and Qing dynasties. One of them depicts a monk sitting on a lotus pedestal. The iconic sculptures are carved into a prominent rock outcrop and now provide a detailed view into the historic evidence of an ancient wisdom tradition. Spanish Stonehenge. Usually mistaken as ancient people's tombs, Stonehenges have once again outrun the water and appear for the first time in 50 years. First discovered in the year 1926 during a drought, they disappeared again during a flood. And once more, they are signaling another drought. Archaeologists are pleased to see them, as they would finally be able to research the stones. Because many human remains are found in the surroundings of these stones, archaeologists believe there might be a possibility of them actually being tombstones. But nothing can be said further until their research is concluded. Ancient Glyptodon. While walking with his cattle along a dried-up stream in Argentina, a farmer stumbled upon some unfamiliar protrusions near the edge that, after a closer look, turned out to be some huge rocky structures. Later, the local authorities were informed, who properly investigated the area to unearth the specimen, and were stunned as the supposed rocky structures turned out to be the fossilized remains of an enormous glyptodon. These car-sized shells of ancient animals are believed to be 20,000 years old and were facing the same direction, as if they were all walking towards something. 2 of them were adults and 2 were young. The heavy shells were extracted by using a digger, and further analyses are being made to find the exact age and the cause of the collapse of these prehistoric megabeasts. A century-old shipwreck. Disappearing rivers can put the world in the worst drought, but in some places, they have helped people to look into the life of ancient humans. Apart from long submerged treasure, warnings, and statues, the drought across Europe has also revealed hulks of warships. Hidden for more than a century, here are the remains of a huge ship that came into view again due to the lowering of the water level in the Mississippi River. The ruins belong to the Brook Hill Ferry, which sank in 1915, but how it plunged and why it was left abandoned is still a mystery to be uncovered. Under River Cave. The longest and historically the most important river of Western Asia hides many mysteries and stories that very few people know about them. This is the story of the Euphrates River that is being observed drying up like many other major rivers of the world. The plunging water level has revealed many peculiar structures, and one of them is this mysterious underground opening. According to archaeologists, this might be an entrance of a cave under this ancient river. However, there is also a possibility that this might be an opening to a buried tomb, access to which could help researchers study about the life of early peoples. Monster fish. If there would be a word other than huge, I'd have to use it here, as just huge is not enough to describe its gigantic size. Lifted up by more than a group of 5 people, here we have an incredibly large fish that was found a few years back alongside a river in the Dominican Republic of the Caribbean region. Known as a Goliath grouper, the massive fish was accidentally caught in a fishing net and was found lifeless. Since it was not an everyday catch, despite dumping the rare carcass, it was decided to transfer it to a research center to deeply analyze the cause of its death. Drought-surviving fish. In extreme water flow or with no water at all, this fish can survive in almost all conditions. Usually living in the waters of Africa, when the drought comes, it becomes an air-breathing mammal, thus given the name of lungfish. So basically, like any other fish, they do have gills which help them to extract oxygen from the water, but they also have lungs. But because breathing is not the only thing necessary for survival during dry times, they have a layer of mucus present around their body, which works as a main source of food during the drought, as containing necessary nutrients from the mucus. They can stay alive for up to a year and will come back in the water when it rains. 500-year-old skeleton. A few years back, dried up parts of the River Thames offered an incredible view after showing a human skeleton wearing long leather boots. The medieval skeleton was found during excavation work and shocked the workers with his thigh-high boots with sturdy, reinforced double soles, stuffed with a material that might have been moss to keep the wearer's feet warm or to make the boots fit more snugly. The skeleton was believed to be 500 years old and was providing a glimpse into the life of ancient London some 500 years prior. How he ended up there is still unknown. However, the boots, combined with evidence from his bones, suggest he might have died on the river while trying to earn a living. Horned crocodile. A twist in the history of crocodiles took place when a team of researchers, while hunting for something extraordinary, dove into a flooded underwater cave in Australia and were able to find a shocking crocodile species that went extinct some 2,000 years ago. It was not just an 8-million-year-old skull. For scientists, it was enough to learn about the evolution of crocodiles. Known as the horned crocodile, the discovered skull was believed to be part of an extinct species new to the scientific community, but how it went extinct is one of the biggest mysteries. However, after analyzing the collected specimen, they are hopeful to fit the horned croc into the story of crocodile evolution. 90-million-year-old fish. While competing in a fishing competition in the Missouri River, an Elkhorn man made a catch of a lifetime that blew the entire competition out of the water. After a lousy cast, his lure hung up on a rock, so he paddled his kayak over to free it up. It was exactly when he spotted some bones that were first assumed to be the remains of a deer or a catfish, so he snapped a pic and returned to fishing. But after sharing the pictures online, the bones turned out to be fossilized remains of a prehistoric fish. known as a bulldog. The 20-foot-long fish was believed to be 90 million years old that ranged across the shallow water during the early Cretaceous period. Wolf dog. Dying somewhere between 6 to 9 weeks of age, being older than 50,000 years, meet Zir, the ancient yet the youngest wolf pup found in permafrost near Dawson City of Yukon Territory. With only her eyes missing, researchers called it the perfect wolf mummy that they have ever found. As with all 100% of her torso and even her internal organs still intact, while they are still examining the small mummy, they ruled out that she must have died because of starvation, and the worst case would be a predator's attack, as being so fragile, she would have been unable to defend herself. Huge fossil found. Small or big, size doesn't matter if it's an actual fossil, as it will always be a huge discovery, especially when they're related to the Miocene era. Anything would become extraordinary. As known as the first geological epoch, it is believed to be millions of years old. Where people usually find shark teeth and fossils relating to the species of sharks, the scientists state that not just them, but the Miocene era was filled with many more incredible fishes, reptiles, and wild animals. Like here, this man found a huge piece of fossil, definitely not of a shark. Therefore, he decided to take it to the research lab so more about the incredible era could become known. Unicorn skull. If you think unicorns are something entirely related to the mythical world, then get ready to be proved wrong. As recently, a few fossils have been found by some local men that hint that not at all legendary, but unicorns were actual animals that lived before humans, or could be present along humans. Who knows? Well, at first, this engineer from Egypt, while working on the pyramids, found the unicorn skull. While the researchers are not quite sure if they were real or not, they did tell the people that one such creature was present in the world, but despite looking like a horse with a big horn over its eyes, it had more resemblance with a rhino. Unknown skeleton. While strolling near a river a few years back in Vietnam, a guy noticed a strange-looking object lying on the bank. Filled with curiosity, he decided to investigate the object that for him was something like a skeleton of an unknown species. With a shapeless head mounted on a twisted body and long, skinny legs, no feature of that mysterious structure was resembling any existing creature. The unidentified skeleton remained a mystery until it was brought to a lab where it was analyzed and all suspense vanished, as the unknown skeleton turned out to be nothing more than a part of an old tree trunk that grew oddly and took the shape of some otherworldly creature. Human footprint. There was a time when people used to believe that dinosaurs existed long before humans. Well, that time is still here. But though very less, a few discoveries indicate the opposite. One of which is this: a human footprint that was found alongside the dinosaurs. A man from Texas was walking through the dried river when he came across giant footprints. At first, thinking this might be some huge creature, he was shocked when he examined them closely, as they turned out to be of a man.
It has the characteristics of a human footprint, except it is extremely large.
And another even more shocking thing was that the prints were presented side by side with dino tracks. So, does that mean the two used to coexist? Or do you have a better explanation? Mermaid tail. Either some huge freshwater creature or a mermaid has found its way to the river. This freaky creature was filmed almost a decade back when a couple of fishermen were out fishing in the River Siren. Suddenly, at a distance of a few meters from their boat, they noticed a huge tail splashing through the water's surface. At first, it was thought to be some kind of dolphin, but it was uncommon for these mammals to survive in that kind of habitat. Also, the forked tail was pointing towards something mythical underwater creature. However, it was also assumed that it might be a seal-hunting fish. But since nothing more than a tail was spotted, the couple was sure that they had managed to capture some glimpse of a mermaid lurking in the river. Tiny humanoid alien. Known to be mysterious for ages, the River of Utah's Area 51 is a famous place to spot strange things. Therefore, deciding to spend her day there in hopes of finding something eerie by herself, a woman was shocked when one popped up hanging to a rock, looking just like a human, a tiny one though. Another thing which added to its creepy features was the stripy body. Therefore, when the lady uploaded the video on the internet, asking if anyone could identify the creature, it started an online debate, with many calling it a dummy, while the majority believed that it was an actual alien creature that she had captured. Ancient Indian artifacts. Representing history, especially the ancient Aryan people who were present centuries ago, and some even dating back to the Ice Age, the ancient Indian artifacts are something explorers are always looking for in rivers with low water levels. Arrowheads, points, and Noah bells. They hold much more value to the researcher, as the oldest arrowhead could tell them about the 65,000-year-old civilization, while the latest one would be able to tell about civilizations around 6,000 years old, opening the doors for researchers to know more about the old defense strategies and the weapons which helped them in implicating them. And though their identification is quite hard, many Native Americans claim to have found them recently. Living King Rat. Now, this masterpiece of strange phenomena was filmed in Russia, when a farmer was surveying his crops to check the possible presence of rodents in his fields. Yet his routine survey turned out to be the strangest discovery of his life when he started to look below the greenery. Moving the branches apart, he saw a bizarre cluster of rats entangled and trembling to get free. Uncanny at first, later this unusual rodent bundle turned out to be a rat king, a collection of rats with tails intertwined and bound together. Usually, rats found in this situation don't survive, yet it was for the first time that a living rat king of 5 mice was spotted. In folklore, rat kings are associated with various superstitions and were often seen as a bad omen, particularly associated with plagues. Strange creature. A mutated fish? A dead alien baby? Or some new species emerging from the water, laying dead on the riverbank with a slimy body and a fishy structure? This mysterious creature was found in the UK. The creature was less than a meter tall, and because nobody could detect its species, the authorities were called, quickly coming to the scene, though they took the alien being in their custody and assured that more about it would be revealed soon. Even after a year, nothing has been made clear, which increased the suspicions of it being something really creepy. Hunger stones. If you see me, weep. With such harsh words written on them, the stones indicating hunger and famine appeared once again. Initially placed by the German governments in the 1600s when severe droughts hit the region, they served as a medium of communication among the hungry people that came looking for food and the government, which were later drowned in the rivers. But not just stones made by the government, but actually many people wrote on them to let future generations be aware of coming catastrophe. As thrown in the deep river, they would only show up when the river would dry to the point they're at. So, is it true? Is there a major famine really on the way? Unknown river monster. Rivers are, no doubt, providing shelter to some of those creatures that are actually hidden from the human eye for an unknown period of time. One such mysterious creature was spotted during an aerial survey when a drone was flying over the Coatzacoalcos River in Mexico. Under the murky river water, the creature appeared as a huge object and was filmed floating fearlessly. Nothing much about the figure is known, as it quickly managed to disappear in the foggy waves. However, some speculated that this might be evidence of a Loch Ness monster, but no one is exactly sure about it, as it might be some other river monster lurking below. Weird being. neither from the dried up river's portion nor lurking on the water's surface. This time, a weird being was found a few steps away from the riverbank. It was when a guy searching for his lost pet stumbled upon something really otherworldly. Lying on the muddy ground, there was a strange body. Puzzled at first, then he decided to closely examine it with the help of a tree branch holding in his hand. Pinkish skin, a slippery, stiff body, and unfamiliar-looking features. The creature literally looked like a result of some failed scientific experiment, as none of its features resembled any existing life form. Well, it was also assumed to be the rotting body of some amphibian, but no one is confident enough to state anything about this weird being. Prehistoric creature. A nightmarish turn of events took place in a Chinese river with these fishermen. While returning home after a long day fishing, they felt a huge disruption in the river's water. It happened in the Yangtze River of China in the year 2017. So assuming it might be a shark that was coming towards them, preparing to catch it, it was when the hiding monster came a little too close, they had the opportunity to look upon the eerie features of the creature. A long snout, strange eyes, and an even stranger torso. Maneuvering through the waters, it shocked the fishermen to their cores. But what was this alien-looking fish? A mutated alligator gar, or some Loch Ness monster captured by them? Let me know what you guys think. Beast crossing river. When you are boating on a river, there's no telling what you may or may not come across. While cruising in an unexplored part of the Amazon River, a man noticed a strange creature walking in the river. Assuming a bear crossing the river, just when he tried to get a closer look, it turned out to be some other biped beast, which had no resemblance with any known creature. Also, it was almost impossible for any wild being to cross the river swiftly, as this beast had managed to do. Just by seeing the size of the animal, the guy didn't think it'd be a good idea to come in close contact. However, he managed to capture those rare moments by maintaining a safe distance, and let researchers get some more clues about the unknown beast lurking among the unexplored woods. Cyclops fish. You might have seen many strange creatures in your life, but I'm sure this Cyclops fish was gonna be the strangest of all. And that was not just a Cyclops, but an albino Cyclops fish. This white fetus with a terrifying single eye was found in Mexico by a fisherman, who at first couldn't believe his eyes when he spotted this bizarre-looking creature. The utterly unusual creature was found inside the belly of its mother, along with its other siblings, and no one other than this fish was found with a single functioning eye at the front of its head. The extremely rare albino Cyclops fish was announced as one-of-its-kind discovery, but unfortunately, it couldn't manage to survive long and died shortly after. Prehistoric shark. A Japanese fisherman caught the catch of his lifetime when he found a very rare shark stuck on his fishing line. He brought the shark on a boat, and it turned out to be the living specimen of the prehistoric frilled shark. Once considered extinct, these species of sharks are known to live at the depth of more than 600 meters and are usually 2 meters in length. Though a golden catch for marine biologists, the shark was of no use to the fishermen as it has less commercial value. The eel-like shark with sharp teeth was in very poor physical condition and was swimming in the shallow waters off the coast of Japan, near the city of Shizuoka. It died hours after being collected from the water. Conjoined trawls. Well, it looks like the water bodies of our planet are determined to shock us by revealing some of the most mysterious and rare aquatic creatures. A few years back in Indonesia, another oddity from the river shocked a fisherman after he found a queering two-headed fish trapped in his fishing net. The two-headed fish may sound like some mythical creature, but it was actually captured and, more strangely, found alive. Not only that, but one more fish with similar features was pulled out of a lake. The weird-looking fish was found joined from its abdomen with two fully developed heads. At first, it was thought to be mutated due to the contamination of the lake. However, biologists debunked this theory by declaring this Asian carp was born deformed. Stream of fish in dry land. Not an ancient artifact, nor a mummified creature, but this time, nature decided to shock people as not one nor a few, but a huge shoal of fish came to the deserted area. Considering it a bad omen, though the people thought that there is some disaster coming their way, when examined by the biologists, they revealed that it happened due to a change in the river's flow, usually flowing in the same direction, because the water changed its direction towards the desert, probably due to human intervention. It brought the fish along with it. But luckily, they were quickly rescued from the deserted area and were sent back to the river, where they belonged. Gold in dried river. Of all the things the drying rivers have shown, I think this is one of the coolest ones, as not a centuries-old fossil, nor a skull, but gold. Yes, you heard that right. People have been finding tiny particles of gold in the Fraser River, and surprisingly, it is not a new thing, as it began in the mid-1800s when a big number of gold miners rushed to the Fraser River in search of gold and continued finding it because of the nearby mines. Hence, raising the temperature of gold fever in the Fraser River, this gold hunt has once again started, pushing people to go and try their luck for one real time.
Unknown fish caught. Ever caught a fish and found it to be way too hollow to be a fish? A group of fishermen caught a really long yet hollow fish that had a body as slim as a piece of cloth. It only had little or any flesh surface over the face. Despite the generational family tradition and several years of fishing, they couldn't identify the nature or species of this fish. Could it be an oarfish or some kind of eel? If you happen to know more about this fish, do share with us down in the comments. Ancient mummified mermaid. Despite all the modern technology, we weren't able to find a proper mermaid, which is kinda embarrassing. Last year in March, a mysterious-looking creature was allegedly caught in the Pacific Ocean off the Japanese island of Shikoku. Judging by its human face and tail, along with careful examination by marine biologists and archaeologists, it was revealed to be a mermaid from the ancient era belonging to a period between 1736 and 1741. The carcass remained preserved as it was mummified and is now kept in a temple in the city of Ashkachuchu. Now, either we have failed to capture any actual mermaids, or they have disappeared. Babies scooped in mouth. If your parents have never scooped you up in a similar manner, you probably may not be the favorite child. Wildlife experts, while studying the behavior of a mother crocodile, managed to document a very special moment between her and her offspring. They planted a dummy croc with a camera, showing how the mother crocodile picks up her young in the mouth, knowing that they aren't safe on the land, while taking them for the first time ever swimming lesson. Despite being submerged into the water, the camera still manages to keep recording. Sharks catch bait. Ever managed to catch a massive shark just by throwing the fishing line at a beach? A crew of young guns and a fishing team unexpectedly caught a huge shark that happened to be nearby the beach in Australia. While many struggled to make even a single catch, they decided to let it go after measuring its length, width, and weight. They pulled at the fishing line and hook carefully before letting it go. Would you have something to let go of like this? Do tell us down in the comments. Mud fishing. Every seasonal change results in massive increase and decrease of water levels that creates a mud swap for mudfish. The African mudfish, or lungfish, can live out of water for many months in its burrow of hardened mud beneath a dried-up stream bed. This fisherman in Africa managed to catch dozens of huge mud and lungfishes after extreme weather started to dry up the mud, limiting the movement of the fishes. Although the mudfishes are smooth-skinned and often crawl in the shallows, makes it easier to find them, but difficult to catch with bare hands, as they are heavy and slippery. Whale lets tourists touch. While on cruise out in the ocean, a group of passengers got to experience a moment that would never be forgotten. The passengers bumped into a pod of giant gray whales that were friendly enough to play around with. In the footage, the underwater mammals can be seen approaching the side of the boat and letting the passengers pet its head, and one of them even gave it a kiss. Judging from its posture, the mammals seemed to be encouraging with its playful intentions. Before parting ways, the whale even started pushing the vessel along in a moment which awestruck its occupants, who were able to capture it. Giant manta ray. Another lucky fisher hits a jackpot upon a massive find. In 2020, an Indian fisherman, Subhash Salan, was able to catch a glimpse of a lifetime. 2 giant manta rays were caught in a big haul, with one of them weighing 750 kilograms and the other over 250 kilograms. The fisherman revealed that he made the huge catch after going deep-sea fishing in Mangalore off the Malpi port on the Karnataka coast. A huge crowd gathered at the port to get a glimpse of rays that were lifted using cranes. These giant manta rays are known to be an endangered species that could be exported on a handsome price.
Before we move any further, like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon so you can keep watching our amazing content.
Fishermen hit jackpot. Sometimes you can find a lot more than just fish and whales in the sea. For instance, fishermen in Yemen hit $1 million jackpot when they stumbled upon a dead whale that had a 127 kilogram lump of ambergris inside its belly, a substance which is known as floating gold that is rarely formed and used to stabilize the scent in perfumes. Normally, these fishermen only live hand to mouth, but after selling the ambergris to an Amaretti businessman at a price more than $1.5 million. While this payday might be quite huge, these fishermen are not giving up their livelihood anytime soon. Largest Caribbean lobster. Now that's a catch just for all-you-can-eat buffet. Local fishermen in the Caribbean on the coast of the town of Manapabu, Puerto Rico, found a lobster so huge that even they were left baffled while on their regular routine of searching for a catch. This lobster was so heavy that it needed multiple grown muscular men to bring it ashore and carry it to the fish market. According to one of these fishermen, it is the largest known lobster that they or anyone in the country has caught, which they sold off for a decade worth of payday. Although most people don't believe this to be true, it surely looks to be.
Open discussion. This picture of a terrifying creature going around online was captured by a guy on a kayaking trip. While rowing his boat in a river in Brunei, a man came across this eerie-looking thing. An unknown figure was swimming in the water near him. It sort of looked like an alligator at first, but closing in on its features. I don't think an alligator has these kind of horrid fangs. Since the rest of its body was completely underwater with only a part of its head visible, its identity couldn't be confirmed. Trying to get a better look, the man dove into the water and found himself face to face with the creature. And that's where the clip suddenly cut off, leaving everyone hoping that the guy remained safe. Thank you very much for watching the video. Do like and share it with your friends. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to not miss any of the upcoming amazing videos. Thank you once again.